Hi, I'm Daniel Williams and I'm with Mach2, a channel where we take a look at interesting cars, motorcycles, and the people behind them. Today we're taking a look at this bike. This is the 2021 Yamaha MT07, 700 cc's of sheer brute force, or 689 as they say. But this bike is considered by many on the internet and different sources as one of the all-around best bikes you can get at the moment. And that's of course talking about, price, handling, speed, all those things put in a nutshell. This is considered to be one of the best bikes you can buy right now. This bike has the new Yamaha CP2 engine. It sounds absolutely fantastic, but at 9,000 RPM, it produces 75 horsepower and about 50 foot-pounds of torque. Now, this bike is considered as a mid-range bike, so this doesn't have leader bike performance, but it also doesn't have the beginner bike performance either. So this is a bike that you can cruise the country with. It has a great seating position that I really like, and it's one of the big reasons why I bought this bike. You can do long hauls on it by sitting straight up if you want to, or you can get kind of sporty, lean back, and do 3.7 seconds 0 to 60, or I think it's 9 seconds 0 to 100. And the bike weighs 406 pounds, which for something that has 700 cc's, 689, that's a decent amount. So this thing definitely is not a heavy lugger, as we'll call it. This bike has some decent torque as well, and I find that it's most powerful, most torquey, if you will, from the 3,000 to 9,000 RPM zone. Now, it redlines at 10,000, but it goes up to 13,000. So you're gonna be staying between, 10,000, 3,000 RPM while you're riding. And once again, it's very, very torquey when you're down, 4,000, 5,000 RPM. So it's a fun bike, and one of the things I've noticed having this thing, I've had it about 2 months now, is it's extremely good at city driving. The throttle is very, very easy to use. It's not jerky. If you have to let off the gas to stop and then start going again, you put a little bit of throttle in, it kind of eases into it and you're not jerked into hyperspace. One of the things that surprised me about this bike is how safe it feels. It's all the time just planted onto the road, seated on that road. It's not going anywhere. And I wouldn't say I drive this thing like a grandma. I'm usually on the throttle a pretty good bit, and it's glued down the entire time. Now, of course, we're running some new Michelin tires here, street tires. So if you have basically wire tires or you're needing to change sometime soon, you're not going to get that same kind of glued down performance to the road. It's also very flickable. The bike, once again, weighs 406 pounds, but anywhere on the road, if you put a little bit of that counter steer input into it, it's going exactly where you want it to really quick. So something that is absolutely fantastic about this bike, and also something that your grandmother is not going to be happy about, is that this thing is an absolute wheelie machine. Just due to the wheelbase, the way the weight's set up, weight ratios front to back, you can, first, second gear, pop a wheelie anytime thou so desireth. You're not going to have a problem whatsoever on the highway or interstate with this bike, and you typically wouldn't with a 700 cc bike. But top speed of this thing, with me on it, I weigh about 190 pounds, is 135. So, and this is what I would consider a fast bike up to 100 mile an hour. Once again, as I said before, 9 seconds 0 to 100 miles per hour, and that's not kilometers for you British folks over there. Get your metrics right. If you're considering as a beginner getting this as your first bike, I would say it is possible. You can start on this bike. I would caution you and say this is something, way on the high side of a beginner bike classification. It is really fast, and you can, if you don't know what you're doing, end up in a ditch really quick. But it's also a bike that you can get and never replace. Just due to the different specifications it has, it's good for a lot of things. You can tour with this bike. You can also take it to the track if you want to. Would I recommend this for a beginner bike? Yes and no. But if you get it and you're safe, you're gonna love this bike. This is a great bike. And it also comes in at $7,500 here in the US. So it's a really, really great priced motorcycle. Build quality of this bike is, I mean, it's good, but you can see in some places why it's $7,500. This plastic bends right here pretty easily. It's lacking some of the trimmings of those, you know, leader bikes, the things you would expect. But it's $7,500 for a, you know, an MT07. This is a classic bike. You know, you can find pros and you can find cons in anything, and this is definitely something like that. But if you get this, you're not gonna regret it. The seat height of this bike is 31.7 inches. I wouldn't say it's, you know, too tall of a bike, but it's getting there. And I see a lot of people I'll talk to about bikes, even some people that don't have one, saying I can't get one because I'm short. And that's not really the case. I'm 5'10", and as you can see when I get on the bike, my feet are planted down flat with a little bit of bend, which is exactly what you want on a bike. You want to be seated, a little bit of flex and bend in your legs. That's what's most comfortable. That's the end of the video, guys. Thank you for watching and clicking on this. Make sure to like if you enjoyed it. Don't worry about it if you didn't. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks.
I think that'll work. Perfect. Okay.